Does he play bigger?
If JT gets low, he's got to get lower. That's the only advantage he has to use that leverage, because the length is definitely in JT Toppin's favor.
Sturts to Banks. Banks throws it up. Oh, how about that shot? Here we go.
And the moment is not too big. He's either going to make shots or miss shots.
10 points in the paint so far for Texas Tech. Little different story than their last game when they shot all those threes.
Elijah Hawkins doing a good.
Pass that one down.
I was wondering if he was looking too.
Looked like he was going to pass out.
Well, Ben Sturts is so good at using ball screens. He very seldom rejects a screen.
Texas Tech, by the way, now 1 for 10 from beyond the arc, but it's the interior that they're dominating tonight.
Hawkins doing a good job of getting in front of that post-up. You got Federico at the rim, a great shot blocker.
Oh, nice fake by Banks. He got Federico off his feet. He lands that one. So he has the last 5 points for Missouri. They've cut the lead in half. It's 28-23. Little pressure again. Abreu. Drake will hold it for 1. Ben McCollum saying spread out.
They're going to run 2 at him, make him give it up.
He does give it up. Abreu into the paint. Gives it to a cutting teammate. Oh, man. Jackson leaves it for Banks. Banks can't finish. Gets it back this time. A little kiss.
Seal somebody down on the block.
Mitchell into the paint. Lost control. Here comes Banks running the floor. Cruz chasing him down. Lets him go by. Lays it in. 13 minutes to play. And a steal by Banks into the open 4. Look out! Down here with Pierce.
They want the ball to go to the strong side so they can trap.
Scary. And now Mascari at midcourt goes to Sturts. Alley-oop.
So you'll be prepared.
From St. Louis, we welcome our audience to the State Farm Missouri Valley Conference Championship game. And they find 2 in.
And his demeanor on the court is completely unflappable.
Nope. A steal. Sturts with a trailer and Banks. The only player in NCAA basketball this season to score over 500 points, missing the free throw there, 180 assists, and the steals and 1 assist.
Kevin and I added some weight to poor Jaquan Johnson there. He's only 195. So just looks like he's 220.
What'd you say?
I said he was 220.
You gave that kid 25
I did.
Wow. Glad I'm not relying on you for that kind of measurement. Here's Sturts.
Now they're playing a taller player against Sturts, and they're playing Dean against Mascari because Mascari is not a threat except to shoot, to catch and shoot 3.
Banks trying to work in on the smaller Johnson. Ben McCollum is over there.
They're just clarifying the shot
Yes,
clock.
exactly. 5 seconds to go. Quick inbound. Taken by Banks.
Boy, that's a defensive
clock. They're getting their dribble handoff game. Try to get a couple of easy back doors. That was a tough 3-point shot.
See the drought, and it's been tough shooting so far for Drake. Abreu barges his way in and finds Banks with the foul. You see that the shooting, 48% on the season, not so far in this one.
And right now, Drake is 1 for 11 from 3.
1 for 12.
12, yes.
Had to add that last one. Mascari driving. Late clock. Banks beats the clock and gets the bucket.
Go to the glass and go get it back.
Abreu. Good hustle by
Vision. Touch pass. More zone here out of Southern Illinois.
I was curious if this was going to happen, Kevin, especially with the lack of bench. Damian Mayo again out with concussion protocol, and you have guys with 2, even 3 fouls as they give Coach Nagy an opportunity to get some of his regulars to get a nice hand from the folks here from Carbondale.
Yeah, great game. One of the best opening round games yesterday. Southern Illinois and Indiana State.
Tremendous.
Quick trigger shooter. I mean, that's exactly what Des White does
Bit of a lapse in judgment there for Bennett Sturtz, looking for that steal, allowing the open one for Des White.
Sturtz against the double team. Now picked up singularly by Vincent Brady. Again, the shot clock winds down to 7. Isaiah Howard has the ball in his hands, pitches it to Banks, who looks for 3 and knocks down a 3.
Some baseline action to see if he could get downhill without having to have the ball in his hands, and created an open opportunity.
Mascari baseline to Banks. Nice pass, Mascari. Defensive switch, and Chase Martin guarding him for a moment. Pass comes inside to Banks. Isaiah Howard now 6 points and 4 rebounds. Key role off the bench for the Bulldogs. He also has had a couple of steals. Sturtz, baseline to Howard, inside to Banks. Sturtz on the dribble. Howard feeling it now, fires another 3. Not this time. Banks had the rebound in his hand. It's tipped right back to him, and he scores again.
Sturtz finds a seam, bounces it off the rim. Look at that, going to the other side of the rim.
On the glass at both ends for the Bulldogs.
He's coming off his highest scoring game in a month and a half at 12 against UIC in the midweek game. Just over 3 minutes to go in the half. Mascari bounce pass, Banks on the baseline, hits it.
Great action by. His job is go to the top of the screen and don't give Mascari a look. That time ran right into the ball handler.
There's Drake working that shot clock. Under 5 again. Abreu out to Tavion Banks. He's got good touch for a big man.
They've been ball screened this entire second half, the Bulldogs.
Sturtz cuts. Yeah, Schmidt got over there to seal that off. Down to Manial. Good move. Got ESPN, and I doubt any of those games are going to be as exciting as what we have here in Cedar Falls. Look at the stick back there by Banks. First lead since 15:25 of the first half. Banks will hush the crowd. Sturtz running out of time, throws it up. Backside, Banks. What an effort by Tavion.
And my favorite part about the trophy is the 1979 Larry Bird mustache that is just immaculate.
It was epic. Nice little give and go there, and a high arcing layup. Good for.
Just unable to knock it down, but that type of energy, that type of toughness, that's what Coach Peden was imploring his guys in the shoot-around. You're going to take away the top team in the league. Going to need to make those hustle plays.
Tavion Banks against Walker. Low block. 5 to shoot. Got the friendly roll. He is fired up. He's been fired up this whole game.
Yeah. Yes, he has. He is fiery as well. And 11 plays his best.
Now the other 11. Combs with 13 points in the game. Sturts, nice give and go inside, hanging and scoring, and a foul as well.
7. A moment ago, they had it at 7, but other than that, you have to go back to early in the first half.
Well, I think Indiana State's done a nice job just disrupting the offensive flow of the Bulldogs. They've been able to be in the pocket, and they've been really playing physical.
Sturts with a nice pop along with Jackson. Banks, who plays with 4 fouls. Also Abreu and Mascari. Here's Sturts. Passes right back to Banks, and he scores, and the Bulldogs
letting these players sort it out on the court.
Clear out for Sturts. The fadeaway won't go, but Banks is right there to put it back. And
Tyron Lindsey, the two-headed monster, the Racers, played well in the win over the Bulldogs.
It's be a hard win to replicate that victory in Des Moines about a month ago. A 7-point victory.
You know, both teams are going to change some of the things they do. Is it the chess match between the two coaches, Steve Prohm and Ben McCollum.
Tavion Banks, boy, is he coming off Saturday at Missouri State, even though it was a defeat.
Big second half, and their win at the Knapp Center for Applewhite. Hit some huge baskets down the stretch. Can repeat it again.
We were talking with Steve Prohm, even though Drake is leading the league, he likes this matchup. What a move for Tavion Banks. Fifth-year senior Jacoby Wood out of Cleveland, Tennessee.
Now Milton has drawn the assignment on Sturts since Ferguson's gone out.
Sturts, little pocket pass to Banks, and he does the rest.
To Murray State's offense.
He's been a traveler. Played at Mississippi State, went to Portland for a while, and this is his second year at Murray. Banks found a seam. It's now with 11. That leads everybody. And Murray State continues to struggle from outside.
That ball was stuck on one side of the court, and there's a rare transition. And then he basket cuts. It's a set play. We saw them use that Saturday in Carbondale against the Slookies.
Boy, Tavion Banks had a...
Now you're going to see pressure by the Racers.
Isaiah Howard, the freshman, checks in for Mascari for Drake. 10-point lead for the Bulldogs.
They'll be very comfortable running this clock down to 5 or below.
Three to shoot. Banks got the roll.
In this great run the last 6 games.
Mitch Mascari, he's their three-point specialist. His short-range jumper doesn't go on the turnover on his return.
Yes, and Arkansas finally got a win in SEC play, but going back to Rupp, the fans going to cheer or boo John Calipari.
Mannion, no points, 3 fouls, and there's still 4 minutes to go here in the half. On the reverse, Banks.
A rare miscue by Drake Bulldogs to get scored on an OB play.
Banks answers back.
There, the turnaround right over the defender.
That's a situation where Drake misses Mannion.
Yeah, great point play. He's gotten very few minutes.
On the reverse, Banks, good touch.
Been much more aggressive and solid here in the second half. More determined look on Drake's face. Again, now they're showing the zone by Southern. Hard to do with Mascari and Sturts out there.
Drake at the foul line the rest of the game. 5 to shoot. Sturts drives again. Lobs it up.
popping it in on the other side.
Big crowd, and now this is where it's tough to guard Drake because they're very comfortable milking the clock all the way down. That last turnover by Banks was a rarity.
And as much as Sturts controls the ball, you can't foul him because you put him at the line, and those are giving away points. And there's Banks, the basket, and Drake again on Tuesday night at Murray State, an ESPN2 telecast, trying to avenge their last loss. As Murray State came into Des Moines and handed Drake one of their 2 defeats this season. And a basket and one.
Possessions and staying at a 6 or 8 point game, something's got to change. You've got to try to go do something to get after it because they're going to run this down to under a minute and shorten this game.
And to have a guy like Sturts handling the basketball out there makes all the difference in the world.
He's not going to be giving it up.
In the lane with the left hand, shot up and good for Banks.
And get to the rim as we see Isaiah Shaw continuing his hot play, his hot shooting, knocking down the mid-range that time.
Foul pole by 1 as we approach the 12-minute mark in the first half. No fast break baskets thus far, so right now the game being played at Drake's pace.
Yes. This is, and it is hard if you're a team that wants to get out and run because of how slow Drake is on both ends is for the remainder of this first half.
Yeah, and again, he's their leading scorer,
yes,
so it's one thing that there was a foul he didn't like, it's another that Schwier got his 3rd.
And for reading his lips, what Coach Roger Powell was saying is that's 3 fouls he hasn't liked on his big fella.
Jackson finds Banks and Banks.
13-point game right now, 16.5 to play. Coach Roger Powell, I think, smartly electing to roll the dice, wanting 2 of his starters to stay on the floor despite having 3 fouls.
Sturts, baseline, Banks. There's another 2 for Tavion to score.
Now that's a big play right there, a big momentum swing. Justice McNair, active hands on the defensive side. We saw him do that against Belmont as well. Can wreak havoc on the defensive end.
Yeah, suddenly when you get down to 10, and that makes it more manageable for the team that's behind.
And back-to-back buckets with the stop for Valpo, just good for the confidence.
And then the Bulldogs patiently on Mascari. Defensive help comes from Abreu. Steal by Sturts. Comes up with yet another one. Banks tries to finish and does.
The turnover. Teal running, but he's all by himself, and he can't finish. And Howard plucks the rebound. Is that a situation? I know they want to run, Kevin, but would he been better served to pull out and wait for help?
Oh, it's in their DNA to be a great 3 on him. Banks did a really fine job of learning how to play that 5 spot for Drake.
There he is, flashing, and Abreu foul
for a low possession team.
Well, another possession that Indiana State throws away as Dowdy commits the foul. And Drake will go back to work bleeding the shot clock.
Dowdy's been locked on to Mascari.
Boy, Banks from Sturts. That is it.
Banks got there late, didn't want to create the foul. So he's playing with 3. But look at that, they just got Mascari parked on the left side. Playing, it opens that up for all his drives.
Sturts again, a nice pass. We have 4:40 to go. 21-point lead. It's the largest lead of the game for Drake. Alley-oop, and Banks will flush.
Howard gets a bump from Comer, turns and fires and misses, but Ferguson is there for the tip.
And how to play it always has the advantage.
Does a nice job finding Combs on the baseline. The tip won't go. Battle for it. Coming out with it is Tavion Banks. The Bulldogs with a fresh 20.
Another one of the Bulldogs missed really close. One of those, yes, it was contested, but we're not able to convert.
Shot clock at 5. Banks in deep. Scores it.
And starting it off with the Iverson cut.
Here's Ferguson, good off-ball cut. Banks is there again. To the blow here. Those are good synergy analytics. Cause turnovers. Here's Banks, 5 seconds. Ferguson on a bounce, back to Banks, hits the reverse layup.
Presence on the floor young man that has a bright future here at Drake.
6 points, 4 rebounds off the bench for Isaiah Howard tonight. Sturts feeding. Banks gathers, lays it in for 2. Drake up 4 and the ball here. 4 assists for Sturts. No field goals in the game, and his team is up. Make it 5 assists.
At balls on dribble penetrations, you don't want to make too deep of drives or close-knit passes. It's going to get stolen.
Birch out. Thomas has returned for Bradley. Howard on a bounce. Drive to the basket. Banks it in. Shocking numbers. Dean, 3 points. Sturts, 2 in the game. Banks. The steal. Banks. 2.
Top of the screens. Banks down low. Drake has struggled in close. Banks gets a second chance for the Dogs, and he lays it in.
He's ready to go. He is a gunslinger.
He had 82 threes at Northwest Missouri last year. Already half that many this season. Has 1 today. They drop it inside for Banks, and he got it.
There's
Mason muscles by him, loses it, and another Drake steal. Here the Bulldogs go. Sturts. And to Banks for the finish.
I believe it was Henderson, got almost triple teamed, which means somebody's open. That time it was Freeman. He stepped up and knocked it down.
Flames are shooting 62% against a top defensive unit. Sturts goes to work. He is so dangerous as he goes down low. Banks for 2.
Yeah, real by Coach Eson to run that isolation play. And, you know, Kinsleris needs to knock those down. The Flames, if they want to have a chance, need to execute those type of plays.
Abreu. Down to Isaiah Jackson. Down to 3 on the shot clock. Behind the back. Jackson finished.
You know, that it wasn't working defensively with him in the game.
The Flames' best player by the numbers, but maybe not fit for this one.
Well, a lot of
Approaching
that,
5.
Yeah, a lot of that, again, goes back to what are you going to emphasize, and they weren't overly emphasizing him on offense, and he was almost a liability on defense.
On the pick and roll, Banks has it easy.
Game using the length, using the explosiveness and the gravity of three-point shooters on the perimeter to isolate Drake near the paint.
4 guys in the rotation for Belmont that stand 6'9". Orm, Charnowski, Pierre, and Brigham Rogers. Drake does not go that big. You have Ferguson at 6'8", Banks at 6'7".
Tough.
And there's Abreu gets it out to Sturts. Now Abreu steps into a 3. Too strong, but Isaiah Jackson up to get the rebound. Dump off underneath Tavion Banks.
Bringing it up the floor. This Drake offense with Coach Ben McCullum willing to take their time, confidence to execute down the stretch.
There's Abreu. And Banks with the reverse.
Yeah, Drake's been really good on the defensive side and really good rebounding. And part of, again, that short roll. I mean, just good back cut and finish for Green Bay, pulling within 2.
O'Hara averages only 2 points a ball game, and he gets his first 2 right there for the Phoenix. Mascari, nice feed to Banks. Banks goes baseline, reverse, got it, and he got fouled.
About the pace, and remember, I know you mentioned it at the beginning, Larry, but the nation's leading scorer not here. Anthony Roy on this Green Bay team is
for the Phoenix. Banks and Sturts play catch. Now Banks goes to the rack and scores it.
Often will play 40 minutes, have 2 fouls here in the first half.
And Abreu had played the first 16.
And Tavion Banks unable to get it up to the backboard fast enough. Oselka deflecting it away.
Here's Banks working inside of Oselka, drawing the foul and hitting the shot.
Baseline cut, driving from the top of the key. The opposite baseline guy cutting hard to the backside. Good find from Wonders. So Selka able to finish up and under.
And there's a beautiful pass. Sturts he did for Green Bay in their last outing. Bulldogs try to stretch this 5-point lead. The ball goes into Banks, and Banks was kind of on a
one free throw.
Sturts, floater, short, an offensive rebound by Tavion Banks.
The ball pressure on Sturts.
Banks aggressively to the rim.
A member of that conference, coming off a Saturday loss to Holy Cross, 74-69. They were down 19-4 in that ball game, rallied back, got within 2, but couldn't finish. In addition to almost 19 points a game, he averages 6 rebounds and 5 assists. He's the only player in the country with that level numbers.
Yeah, just so impressive. First year in Division I, and has shouldered quite a load on the offensive end. Bennett Sturts has been up to the task every time.
Jackson to Banks, and Banks for 2. He's never had a full-time assistant coach. And you saw his assistant, Jim Kiss, just a part-time assistant. Sturts with the takeaway, Sturts with a lob, and the finish by Banks.
It's the ball in the strain and roll. Just it takes whatever the defense gives him. This time getting a turnover, going down the other way.
Sturts with another steal, 10th turnover against St. Ambrose. Bennett Sturts has already come up with 3 steals in this one.
And that we talk a lot about his offense, but Bennett Sturts really solid on the defensive end. Active hands as Tavion.
Off of it, though. Here's Garrison backing up, firing, leaving it way short. Banks there for the rebound, but Scary. Back to Banks. Kaboom.
Usman, good opportunity to get some run here tonight.
Sturts sees an opening, tries to take advantage of it, and it's finished.
Back down those shots. Has hit too early, and Valpo regains the lead.
And Todd, he hunted that three-point shot, set a screen, flared off of it, and boy, that was a difficult shot that he made.
Sturts unable to get this shot off. Now he lobs for Banks, and he got Schmidt off his feet, and then when he came down, Schwieger still trying to get on track. He bowls his way in. There's the help. Great play from Mascari. They're not going to let Schwieger beat him. Boy, what a job they have game planned against Cooper Schwieger.
And it's a defense that's built to every time you turn, like Cooper Schwieger tried to have a hand there.
Our first hand, shot clock is under 5. Deep one is coming up short from Banks, got his own rebound, and finishes. Boy, what a lift.
Valpo played with a little better pace offensively, kind of sprinting into their screens better in this little stretch.
Now Schmidt comes out on Sturts. Now Howard on the attack. The shot clock winding down. Banks has to take the fadeaway, and again, it's a fadeaway shot.
Fade away, but really nice job by Horn going through Tavion Banks, going up to finish that one with the right hand on the left side.
Bulldogs with an early 11-point lead. It has been shaved to 5. Sturts finds an open Tavion Banks.
Just
Southern. And that will put the Bulldogs in the bonus for the final 7:06, or it should put them in the bonus on the next one. Sturts into the offensive end. Again, Bulldogs moving the ball with precision. Nice pass, Maniau to Tavion Banks. One of the reasons the shot clock has gone down is a little more time out of the backcourt. Sturts takes it to the rack. He can't finish, but there for the tip-on. A minute of play for the Bulldogs can wrap up their 25th consecutive home court victory, and again, that will tie Houston for the top streak in the country. Nice move inside by Tavion Banks.
They're going to be in the NCAA tournament, Vanderbilt. Wow. Now, look, they may not beat the Alabamas or the Auburns of the world, but and part of it is all you really got to do is go 500 in the SEC and you're in the tournament. But Vanderbilt's good. I mean, their offense, we've talked about their defense. You've seen it in the early part of this half. And what we haven't mentioned is how deep they are.
Contact, no call, and a layup for... This is both at the line.
Game like this, those types of misses, 2 in a row, is big.
Sturts hands it off. Banks this time makes the layup.
Vanderbilt's defense.
He has 8 assists tonight. And another forced turnover. Up ahead. Bennett Sturts leaves it. Tavion Banks again. Mascari in attack mode. Contested at the rim. Shot clock down to 3. Ball in the air. Banks heaves it and hits it. A prayer at the end.
Owls.
Those 4 D2 transfers on the floor, but it's the one who isn't.
He really is tough driving. He just got to figure out again when it's time to change gears a little bit.
Try to thread the needle to Jackson. Now the handoff to Mascara. 5 to shoot. Inside Banks.
They use that high post.
Nice looking stroke from the short corner. And now some token pressure, but it's handled by the Bulldogs. And
again, I mean, this Miami team offensively is loaded. I mean, they can really score the basketball.
Here's Banks. And he'll put the finishing touch.